Hi guys, Martin from Belief. In this video, we're going to look at how to create an email campaign in Nexus. That is, create an email and send it out to one or more distribution lists or a distribution list group. So I'm going to create an email in real time, very, very easy to do. I'm going to select Nexus from the primary menu. And while we can create a large number of campaigns, autoresponders, admin emails, and post-settlement emails, repricing emails, all those sorts of things from the Create Emails panel, we can create a general campaign via this link, Create Campaign. It just brings up a simple editor. Now, you can use the drag and drop editor block, but we'd highly discourage it. Now, I'm only going to talk about the basics of creating an email. A simple email that goes out via the simple editor. The reason we're using a standard WYSIWYG editor container here is because it's how people write emails. You write emails, you don't build them. However, you can use conditional blocks. There are hundreds of placeholders that may be applied in various cases. And there are a large number of other facilities, such as real-time property pricing, which integrates largely with the repricing module, and a huge number of other features. But let's just look at creating a basic email. Now, hello, first name. If that template wasn't there, the first name template, I could pull that up via not the Nexus template, via the Yabba template here. And it's down here, just first name. And we could insert that. And there are a number of other standard kind of Yabba formally placeholders that are available. When you're creating emails that are sent to someone after a booking and so on, you've got a large number of options here. So booking time will show you how it will return. Booking time will just return 10 a.m. But they return in different ways. You can apply the full time there and so on. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to copy in an email that I'm just about to send our clients. First thing I'm going to do on my end is add a title, email title, and time to get those videos completed. It's just, I don't know the title here because there's a large number of issues that I'm detailing in the email itself. Now, the primary category is a category. It's a standard website category. We want to categorize our emails. So what I'm going to do now is copy in an email that I've already written. So copy, paste, and I'm going to go through and highlight distribution, which lets brokers know who the email is going to. I generally always do that. And there is a link down the bottom where I'm linking to a Facebook group. In fact, it's our public Facebook group. So I'm going to highlight that. Of course, if it was a standard internal link that I wanted to apply there, I could pull up this panel and insert a link directly to a post on our website. You can search for that from the bar here. So I can pull in, that and search for it. I can apply a link and then just insert content, which means apply link. Now, if I wanted to insert a download, I'd select there. If I wanted to insert a video link, I'd select that option. Remember, we don't want you to do monkey work. When you create an email, it should be easy. Yabba ingests all your emails. It knows all your downloads via the download manager and so on. So you can quite easily apply these links. In this case, though, it's an external link. So I'm just pulling in that one. And we've got that there. I'm going to make a few changes to this very quickly, and I'll probably zoom through this when I pop it into Adobe, and I'll come back and talk about how we save it and then send it. Okay, there we go. Normally I'll break the email that I send guys into little chunks. The purpose of this email really is because, first of all, this paragraph here is the only one that matters. I'll be sending this on Monday morning. So personal issues making me, makes personal issues make me unavailable for the next 2 days. I'll send various bookings for Wednesday at midday today. So I'm not available on Monday and Tuesday for general sort of broker stuff. Anything related to campaigns kind of has to wait, unfortunately, because I will be out on the road. I have to go down to Albury for a couple of days. So I generally don't want to take any calls that requires me to sit in front of the PC. Sales calls and things like that would be fine. A little bit of information on the Azure application, just reminding people that Microsoft is the preferred service. When they register their email account, Microsoft provides far more functionality. They provide Entra ID, Azure, a whole bunch of different things, and a primary parent tenant, which you don't get through GoDaddy, and it has caused nothing but problems. And at this point, we've just sort of made the decision, if you don't register with Microsoft, we'll have to migrate to Microsoft. It is a better facility. So I just needed to do that. Talking about some of our webinar programs, we've got a bunch of guys scheduled in. In fact, now, at the time of writing this, for our first and second webinar, I'm only taking groups of 8 in each group. We've got like well over 100 guys to get through this program. We're only taking groups of 8 initially because every broker in each group is very like-minded in terms of, in many cases, it's geographically based, but certainly it's volume and capability. In many cases, it's language as well. Some of those guys that have language or communication difficulties, we've grouped together so we can discuss options for them. Specifically that may not apply to some of the other guys that have been recording videos for years and things. That takes me on to the next part. I'm talking about some of the video requirements here. I talk about the 12 guys we're introducing to our rescue program. 10 spots filled already, so we've got 2 remainder. That is, we triple the results, those coming off various programs in our rescue list, or we provide them with $2 million. And I just make the case there. We're seeing some, like the people we're inheriting from those programs are quite, have a exceedingly bad experience. Many of them don't actually have the leads sending to them, rather they're sending to another broker, which is just a catastrophic mistake. Just noting the RSS feed here as it's made available in the subscription module. And the last little bit, just saying, go to our Facebook group, where I'm tending to upload some of the videos we manufacture now. And certainly I want guys to be aware that they can use rate placeholders. It's the bee's knees when it comes to autoresponder stuff. It's appealing to people in a way that they understand, and in a way that 94% of people consider to be more important than anything else. So the email signature and disclaimer, I've got a bunch here, and I've just got general default. I'm going to select BM client signature, which does not give the individuals an option to subscribe. Rather, the signature itself links individuals to Yabba, where they are required to unsubscribe via the panel that is provided there. And that is because these emails they send are very important, and some guys have inadvertently or accidentally clicked these links and then got all cranky when they haven't received the emails. So that's that. I'm going to save this. That's sent. No, sorry, that's saved. And what I'm going to do now is send this straight away into the send panel here. Now, email campaign name, I'm going to give it the same name as the email. Now, why don't we just inherit the name of the email? And that is because a campaign can include 2, or in fact 1, 2, or more emails as part of a split effort. The scheduled date and time, I'm just going to leave as is. Select the parent campaign, which I'm calling BM clients, and select the optional send rules. There is a video that deals with send rules. Do we send emails on weekends, public holidays? Do we only send between certain hours and so on? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to turn that off. And the email will be up the top, which I've selected. If we were split testing this campaign, we would introduce another email, right? A different email. So those 2 emails would work side by side. Normally it's one element only that is split. We call them split tests rather than A/B tests, because A/B implies you can only split two assets. We split any number of email campaigns. In most cases, you'll only split up to 2, but in some cases, you might split 3 or 4. And if you've got a list of 100,000 people, you can split to 3 or 4 groups because one will always perform better than the other 3. And you can default to that. In this case, though, it's just the one email. And I'll talk about split testing in another video because it is a topic of itself. Now, the category list we send to, now, most of my lists are just demo lists and things like that. I'm going to send to broker growth. There's a growth. There it is. BM broker growth. The secondary list is our old broker growth list. This is the primary Nexus list, BM broker growth. And the list group. Now, you can see the demo category list group, it's 5 lists. Now, what that does is it just negates the need for you. As it applies to email marketing, it just negates the need for you to select 5 individual lists that you might select all the time. You might have 20 first-home buyer lists, and you might get sick of searching for them and adding them all individually. Whereas you can just create a list group, and a list group basically just groups all those lists into one. So instead of selecting those 20, you just select one here. We do use them for other purposes. Grouped contact lists, because groups and contact lists and categories and things are universally used throughout Yabba. We do use groups for other things, even assignments on websites and permissions and so on. So contact filtering, this is campaign exclusions, inclusions, and so on. In most cases, you will not apply this, but you can open this up and apply various options there to, in this case, for example, include only recipients with no email contact since a certain date, email recipients by list category. So exclude contacts in category, and the exclusion list will bring up a red, the inclusion lists will bring up a green. So there's a number of options there. We did have a very large number of options there, but we removed them only because one guy with a list of about 75,000 people, I think it was, went through and applied so many filters that are only sent to 1,200 people in the end. So you have to be careful about how we exclude people because it all aggregates. But it's a really good feature for high-level stuff. I'll just give that a once over. Yes, sending this email, sending now, and I will click save. Now, this will tell me how many people I am sending to. Scheduled for Monday, the 25th of May 2026 at 9:53 a.m., sending in 3 minutes, 48 seconds. The reason we delay by 5 minutes by default is to give you an opportunity to make an update. Currently, there's only 144 email contacts in that specific list, although this may change. The reason we say this may change, if you schedule this for a week from today, there might be 20 or 30 people that are added to that list. So when we send this email, we recalculate all that data. Nexus will be populated with send data at the scheduled send time. Until then, the record exists in a review table. If I went to Nexus here, the entry page, it is going to show me that email and when it's scheduled for 2 minutes, 58 seconds, and so on. Approximately 0 contacts. That will populate at send time. It does another calculation in the background now. So next time I visit this page, it'll give me the appropriate contact list. Now, there are a large number of tables now that I'm not going to go through. You can review these campaigns, and I'm not going to pull that up just in case it shows any of our test data. And some of our test data includes our beta group and things like that. And I just don't want to expose that information. But you can review the campaign. In fact, I will pull it up. I'll just blur it out. So I can pull up the campaigns there. You can pull up individual emails via that next icon. Okay, here it is here. I'm just going to pull it up. What did I call it? If I completed is a keyword there. So time to get those videos completed. So that has pulled up this specific record. Now started that's actually an error there that I have to fix, because the started figure at this point hasn't been populated. So we need to just modify it in the same way we've got ended, where it says scheduled there in very light gray. We need to have the started show the same thing. So if that field is empty in the database, we just have to show scheduled. We can disable that. So if you want to stop that, you can disable it here. If you want to pause it for a short time, you can hit the pause button, and it enables you to come back to that at a later stage. You can edit that email here. Once it's sent, though, you'll only be able to view it. At this point, I'll be able to click it, and I'll actually be able to save it as well, because the email hasn't sent. And if I open up that panel, which I will not do because it exposes sort of who it's sent to and all those sorts of things, it will provide additional email there related to that individual. So I am going to come back to the email. That will send to me in a few minutes. So I'm going to pause this, and in a second I'll show you what the email looks like, which is just a standard email, but it's just good to see the end result. So here's the email as it was sent to me. Notice that says forward here. That's just because I am registered in the system as demo with an alternate email address. So I forwarded this email to myself, but obviously the title and the email as you would expect. So it's just a standard email. Let's have a look at the bottom. Okay, first of all, Facebook group here. If you hover over that, it's going to give you a funny looking link. And that's because all the links are tracked, associated with triggers and very extensive statistics. We record every piece of available information and resolve other information that isn't provided. The signature is as you would expect and as defined when we created the email. And down the bottom, it's got our standard disclaimer here. You will have an unsubscribe link. We've got unsubscribe via Yabba or call us for removal. Unsubscribe via Yabba, that will give you a link to Yabba, and you can just toggle off the appropriate lists that you want to subscribe to and from. So if you want to unsubscribe, do so via that page or call us for removal. If we call you, we're just going to do exactly what I've just described. And most of the time there's going to be a delay. It just goes into the queue. It's low priority. If it's over the phone, it might be immediate, but certainly for anything related to any of the programs we have running, we suggest you remain subscribed. Like, there's absolutely no reason to unsubscribe from our broker growth list. It's important, and we do give you the information necessary to build really compelling campaigns. At the moment, I'm really just trying to get everybody established. At this point, at the time of recording this video, I'm trying to get everybody with the appropriate suite of videos that are necessary in order to drive a really high value subscription funnel. Last thing I'm going to show you here is I did pop a rate into the last email as an example, and that's how it presents in an email, just as a rate. Notice it's got the asterisks. So if you do include a rate in an email, it's best to have that information presented in your disclaimer. Certainly you require a comparison disclaimer and a little bit of information that the rate is indicative and so on. And there's an article that will go up on our website, in fact, to detail that, because rates in isolation or quantitative statements in isolation really require substantive qualification now. It's one of the things that is being cracked down on. So you'll want to ensure that you have the appropriate supplemental information to support that very generic claim. In my case, it was purely for a demo. So that's that, guys. Martin Curry, Belief Media, 0400 777 300. Bye-bye.